What's up, guys? Welcome back to Right Side, and welcome to another episode of the Right Report. First headline I want to get into is the Trump golf course shooting that happened over the weekend. Of course, this is the second of these types of assassination attempts over the past just 2 months. The first one taking place, of course, on July 13th in Butler, Pennsylvania. Apparently, the FBI or the Secret Service knew, or this guy was wandering around the premises upwards of 12 hours before he was allegedly caught, I guess, is what they're going to say happened. And I think they also said that Trump was 2 holes away from it, which is crazy. Supposedly, the alleged shooter was found in the bushes by a Secret Service agent. He had the barrel of the gun pointed through the chain link fencing with an AK-47 style weapon and 2 bags of ceramic tile, which was interesting. A lot of people tried to make a lot of kind of defense of Thomas Crooks, who was a shooter in Butler, Pennsylvania, about his political motivations, even though he donated to Democrats and was probably registered as a Republican to make it look like he was a Republican in the first place. But we know that this guy is not a secret Republican. In fact, he went over to Ukraine to fight in the war and was staunchly against Trump for his stance on Ukraine and just against Trump to begin with. The guy's obviously a lunatic. And these types of things, you know, people say like, oh, America's gotten numb to mass shootings and you know, gun violence and all that kind of thing. We've become desensitized to assassination attempts on our leading political candidates. Think about that. I mean, it wasn't even 2 months ago that Butler happened. Trump got shot in the ear less than 2 months ago. And within like 2 weeks after the event happened, we all kind of forgot about it. And now this happens again, and we're like, okay, well, that happened. What's next? It's nuts to me, and it's coming from the left. It's coming from the left, and any kind of idea or argument against that is delusional. Delusional. How many right-wing, who on the right is attempting assassination on Obama or on Biden or on Harris? No one. This isn't happening. The uniquely left-wing thing. Assassinating or killing your political opponents is a left-wing issue. It's horrible that this happens, but we know why it happens. The rhetoric is at a fever pitch right now. It's one thing to deeply disagree with someone. It's even, you know, relatively similar to just hate someone, but when you make it a point of emphasis to your supporters or to the American people that this guy is a threat to democracy and that he's the equivalent to Adolf Hitler, a lot of these liberals, I said it in my other video, but a lot of these liberals would say that they would go back in time and kill Hitler. And so when you tell these people that Trump is Hitler, I mean, 2 + 2 = 4 here. It's the rhetoric that's really heating this up. And, you know, they point to when Trump was talking about Hillary going to prison or lock her up. And the fact of the matter is that he didn't. He didn't do it. He got into office and he never prosecuted her. He never did anything. Nothing happened to Hillary Clinton. But, of course, that same leeway is never given to the right from the left. They will make up anything on the spot to indict you. Just look at Trump. He got knocked down on charges that even Andrew Cuomo said that normal people don't even get hit for. They will take an electron microscope to everything you've ever done in your entire life, and they will break you down for it systematically. You know, if they don't try, if they, you know, they try and shame you, or they try and cancel you. If that doesn't happen, they try to jail you. If that doesn't happen, they try and kill you. The only question is, what happens if that doesn't work? What does the left have if cancellation, indictments, conviction, assassination doesn't stop Trump? What's next? How many more assassination attempts are we going to see in Donald Trump's life before or until the election? How much is this going to happen? We should all be praying for the safety of not only Trump and J.D. Vance and their families, but also Kamala Harris and Tim Walz and Joe Biden and his family as well. We should be wishing this on no one at all. Should we be wishing harm on? It's ridiculous that this is happening. It's not okay, but it's very telling that this type of apologizing is coming from one side. One side is saying that they wouldn't have minded if he was shot and killed. They wouldn't mind if, he was taken out. The left at this stage of American political history has completely lost the plot. Their sense of morality is gone. It's completely out of the window. Nothing is sacred anymore. Nothing is kept to be kept in a bottle. Nothing is meant to be pure or innocent. Everything has to be tainted now. Everything has to be tainted. I talked about this in other videos, but the problem with the relationship, at least in America, you can also make a historical argument about this, but the problem between the relationship between left and the right is that fundamentally the left never gives the freedom or they never let you be. The right can offer olive branches all they want. They can have the attitude of live and let live and have that kind of go their way. But the left takes that charity from the right and takes advantage of it. They don't do the same thing in good faith. The right puts the sword down in an offer of peace, and the left seizes it and chops the head off. The only question is that not in a violent manner, but when are conservatives and the right going to stand up for themselves? When is the right going to not let this happen anymore? When are we going to take the reins of the culture and start winning again? Because I'll tell you one thing. We're not going to win in the culture by being passive. It's not going to happen. We are not going to win with a live and let live approach. It's not going to happen. If you think it's going to happen, then get out of the way and the people who actually are going to make the change to make the change. Because living and let live has allowed the left to trample on our way of life, on American traditions, on American values, and American norms. And there's no other way to protect that than to seize the power and do it ourselves. We've trusted the left to do the right thing over and over and over and over again. We've continuously gotten our hand bitten. We've gotten stabbed in the back. We've been thrown under the bus. I'm quite frankly tired of it. I don't want to see it happen anymore. The only problem is I don't think that the rest of the right is ready or matured yet. I don't think they have come to the same realization as I have. But yeah, Trump, second assassination attempt. It's absolutely ridiculous. I hope it's the last one we see until the election. It's crazy that we're already being desensitized to it. And the sad part is that we're never going to get a straight answer from the federal government. So to Governor Ron DeSantis, I look forward to state of Florida's independent investigation. Next headline I wanted to talk about is the ABC whistleblower allegations, the affidavit, alleging that ABC pretty much was in cahoots with Kamala Harris the whole time. This shouldn't surprise you if you watched the debate at all for any amount of time, because you would have noticed that something was a little fishy. Something wasn't right. So turns out ABC was perhaps feeding sample questions that were very, 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 very close to the same ones used in the debate and shared it with Kamala. They promised or made a very strong assurance to the Harris campaign that only she or that only Trump would be fact checked, because I think Harris is fact checked maybe once, if at all, during the debate. Because I said in last week's video that the moderators had a better performance against Trump than Kamala did. It sounds like ABC had their nose pretty brown with Kamala Harris. I for one am absolutely ecstatic that those like David Muir and Kristen Welker have had their reputation, what was left of it anyway, absolutely tarnished and tar and feathered. They are pathetic excuses for journalists trying to position themselves as fair, down the middle, nonpartisan actors. They're actors. They are warm bodies in suits. They are puppets. They are disgusting excuses for journalists. Whenever you make CNN look like Breitbart, you know you're bad. You know you're bad. MSNBC is worse enough. ABC has that air of credibility with a lot of people because, you have Fox News, you have CNN, you have MSNBC. ABC is for I feel a large group of people. The news network that is impartial, that is down the middle, that is unbiased, that is center. But when you have those people make the debate so one-sided like they did, it absolutely tanks the reputation of something of that. I didn't like David Muir before it, and now I really don't like David Muir. Kristen Welker, she's been beaten down by a lot of conservatives. Trump, Vance, Vivek, she's been beaten around the bush, or been the punching bag for a lot of conservatives during interviews for quite some time. But David Muir, you should be ashamed of yourself. This is absolutely despicable. This is unbelievable. ABC should issue an apology. This is absolutely horrible for any sense of journalistic integrity. But outside of that, I'm very interested to see how it goes forward, what'll come out of it. I don't want to make any predictions. But ABC's reputation, man, down the tubes. Muir, Welker, down the tubes, and I'm happy. And I'm here for it. The last thing I want to talk about are some of the more recent polls going on. A little poll update, and it looks like Harris is kind of pulling out in front a little bit, but if you guys don't know what I think about polling, I think polls are fake. I'm one of those people. I took a course in university called Applied Sport Analytics. And in that course, we learned that the optimal win percentage for a professional sports team for a home game is 59% chances of winning for the team. That 59% optimizes and kind of is the peak for attendance. And why is very interesting, because people want to watch a good, close game, but still have a decent comfort in their chances of winning. That is how I feel like the polls are going to be from here to the election. I think that the polls are always going to be close. I think that it's going to stay within the margin of error. It's a toss-up. It's really close. All this, all that, all this, all that. But I think that it's going to be high enough to soothe the left, to make them feel more comfortable that Kamala is still, is probably going to win, I think that they're going to try and give them that kind of sense of comfort while still trying to be like, it's still close, so you should still get the vote, do that kind of thing. So whenever I hear polls like, oh, Harris up 5, up 4, up 6, I'm like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I think it's all fake. I can't in earnest believe that half the country is that far gone. Because at this point, believing in the left, believing in Kamala Harris, means that you have your brain, your skull is empty. Because there's no reason to support Kamala Harris. You are an NPC. You are not there. You are not conscious. You are not living in the world as an independent person. You are insulated from the effects of things. There is no reason to vote for Kamala Harris. There's zero reason to vote for Kamala Harris. Yet, it seems like over half the nation believes that there is. Pretty passionately, too. And so I don't think that the polls are gonna backstab Kamala. I really don't think so. If they do, if I'm wrong, and they do, like Nate Silver is hinting at in his forecast, then I'll be very surprised. I'd be stunned. Polls are a strategic weapon of the deep state to kind of voice a certain level of comfort on the masses of for things. So they had a debate so early with Biden. It's all a show. They're all trying to make you feel a certain way. So when it comes to the polls, don't believe them. Have a very healthy level of skepticism, but don't get complacent. Whether we're up by 5 or down by 5, we should always be campaigning like we're down by 10. Go door knocking, get your neighbors out to vote, get your friends out to vote, get your family out to vote. Vote, vote, vote is the most important thing. Swamp the vote. Swamp the vote. Too big to rig. If we're able to do that, I have no fear that Trump will win in November. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, I'd appreciate it if you'd like button. If you want to support and help the channel grow, please subscribe and ring the bell to stay updated with all my uploads. Finally, whether you agree or disagree, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. I look forward to engaging with you guys in respectful and thoughtful discussions. With that said, I'll see you guys next video. See ya.